Welcome to musicmovie.com, and today we're going to talk about how major record labels will promote an album. So last week we talked about how a major label will break new artists. And then someone in the comments wanted to know how exactly do they go promoting once the album or single is out. So a lot of it's kind of the same thing as breaking. I mean, it's different, but it's kind of the same. So they hire these people specifically. They're basically radio promoters. They go by other names too, but that's basically what they do. They'll take the single of the album and they'll send it to the program directors and at all these stations, and they try to get play, and they follow up on play to see how many spins you're getting for you, things like that. And a lot of these people have a great track record because they know these these program and music directors at these stations already, so they have a great relationship with these people, so you have a better chance of getting radio play for an artist. So it's all a win-win. Costs money, but you can do it. On an indie level, you can hire these people as well. One of the indie labels I worked at had one for college radio, and he did a great job. He would find crafty ways to get the DJs to play these songs. And they also will get these records to club DJs. So they'll spin the records in clubs, the hottest clubs in the area, things like that. So it's a big job they got to do, but they have established relationships already with these radio and club DJs, so it's usually not a problem. But that's pretty much what they do there. It's all about spending money. And of course, then the label hires a team that will get reviews and interviews done to like the most popular music blogs, music magazines, other websites, newspapers, television, radio, stuff like that. And they take care of that end. If they don't have someone in-house to do all this stuff, they hire a team that they've worked with previously. And a lot of indie labels it's the same way. They'll just hire somebody that they know they've worked with for a long time. And it's well worth the money as long as they have that track record. Make sure if you're going to hire a team to do this for you, ask for references, ask who they've worked with, all that good stuff. And if they can provide you with some substantial proof that what they do has worked in the past, then give them a shot. You know, all this can be done on an independent level. It's just you may have a smaller budget, so it may not be as pushed as hard. Like a major label would do this nationwide, while an indie label, you might only be able to do it regionally or a couple states at a time. You know, whatever you can do it like that. Now, they also work with people who take care of ads, an ad campaign. They set up an ad campaign through social media. You know, they'll advertise on Facebook, they'll advertise on Twitter, like that your album's coming out. They advertise on radio, like if you're coming to do a show or you're coming to do a signing or a meet and greet. Also on television, if you have enough money to shoot commercials, these people will actually also take care of all that too to make sure it gets to the right people. These people get paid and your ad airs wherever it may be, in print media or television or radio, whatever. And again, it's just a team of people either that they already have in-house or that they outsource. Now, there is also another part of the team that works with publishing, and they try to get songs on the album to be used in commercials, in movies, like movie soundtracks, anywhere where they can, have these songs placed, and then, they get publishing money out of that. So it could be like a TV commercial, Taco Bell or something, whatever, and even like reality shows, music in the background for that. There's a lot of up-and-coming artists that have got more popular because their song was featured on some big MTV show or whatever, So there is a department that does that as well. There's a branding department. We have talked about branding in past videos where you have a brand. You want to keep that brand consistent. Like, for instance, Michael Jackson. His brand is basically he's an entertainer. He had a certain look to him. Back in the 80s, he had the whole glove, the sequins, all that stuff. That was all branding. That's when you see a sequin glove, you instantly think of Michael Jackson. So branding is all from your logo to the color prints. Purple. That's branding. That's whenever you see purple, I think of Prince. I sure as fuck don't think of Barney. I think of Prince. So all that shit is branding. It's your image, from the logo to colors to your album cover to how you are perceived for the most part. It all comes together as your brand. It's recognizable stuff that people will instantly think of you when they see it. And there is a department that takes care of that. Like I said, being an indie label or artist, you can do all this stuff, or you could hire someone at your income level. It's not impossible. Now, they also promote, before the album comes out, you usually have your first single. They try to get people to buy the album on pre-order. And they do this because pre-orders count towards sales when the album does come out. So say it's a pretty major artist, they get a couple 100,000 pre-order sales, and the day it comes out, that couple 100,000 already sold technically, so they'll chart from that instantly, and that just looks good on everybody's part. Now, and of course, I'm not going to bullshit you here. There have been labels that will buy their own records. It's illegal, but it happens. They'll have people go buy, they'll use different credit cards, whatever, and they'll buy such and such copies of the album, their own artist album, so they will chart. And so it looks better. So it brings hype. Like, there could be like, hey, such and such artist first week sold 100,000 records. That sounds phenomenal. But the label may have bought half of those. You know what I mean? It's illegal to do, but they do it. It happens. It may not happen as much now, but it has happened in the past. So charting is everything, especially if you're indie, because there's people at major labels that look on the charts to see who's hitting independent charts, who's topping this chart, and that makes them want to work with you. So it depends, and there's a lot of tricks that major labels are doing now. They'll take like an artist who's indie, and they will basically be the driving force behind their album, but they want to make it look like the artist is still doing it independent because it has some kind of charm to it, sort of, for people like, oh, he's an indie artist, And little do they know, they make it look like he's indie, but there's actually a major label behind him. There's a couple artists recently that did that. I'm not going to name names or anything, but there are things like that happen all the time. But back to the indie level, all this stuff can be done on your level. You just got to find someone who will work with a budget. Like I said, as far as like, PR people that work radio singles for your album, stuff like that, it can be done on your level. You can't just maybe do it worldwide unless you have that budget, but you can do it like regionally, or you can hit every city in your state that's important, things like that. And that's just on your budget, and that's fine. Because the more you do that and the more you tour, the more fans you're going to get. It's all important. It all ties together. And then you could see what stations are playing your song the most. You could go down there and do a show, do a meet and greet, because you're getting a name out there. Everything just comes together. And in the end, it's all about timing, how everything comes together. And all these teams kind of have to work together so everything comes perfectly timed for your album release. So it's a lot of work, but it can be done. So there's a lot of aspects, and I'm sure there's still more. They're just not hitting me right now. But that's basically what's needed to promote an album. And it can be done on any budget, just not as big then. And that's fine. Start regionally, do a multi-state if you have to, surrounding states, and then branch out as you start getting a bigger fan base. It's easy. Doesn't sound easy, but once it happens, it just happens. You ever hear how people say millionaires will be like, once I hit that first million, never look back. It was just easy to make that money. And once you hit a certain level of gaining your fans, It's almost like a steamship. It'll just keep rolling. Everything falls into place. You'll start making the money you need to make this a career. It just happens. And either you keep going and you stay relevant for years, or you might be a one-hit wonder and then you die out. But once it hits, it goes, and it happens so fast. So keep that in mind. Now, if you want to hear about other subjects, please leave it in the comments. I'll try my best to get to those. Leave a thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next video. Thank you. Thanks for watching my videos, and I wanted to tell you about a few things. I'm going to leave some links in the description below, so make sure you take advantage of them. I want you to check out and download our ebook. It's a step-by-step guide to release your own music from start to finish. Check out the link below. It's called Release Your Own Music, a step-by-step guide. Download that today. Also, Jango Radio. It's a streaming service like a Pandora, and they're doing a special offer with me where they're giving artists and bands 100 spins on their streaming station. You just got to click the link below. You can only use this link to get that offer, and you must be a new Jango user. It's an excellent opportunity to get your music out there to more people. Check it out, click the links, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.